no, I think we are.
Now I think our mic's working. Good grief, we didn't even turn it on.
I think we're good now.
I clicked it and then it didn't work. Well, that was exciting.
All right, we'll start over. We're going to preview the Royal Rumble and NXT Takeover. We're going to start talking about an NXT Takeover. All right.
Okay, so first, now that our mic is on, the first match is Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno. And I personally think that Matt Riddle is going to take this match. He was out for a couple weeks because he was injured at the hands of Cassius Ohno. And last week, one of his friends in NXT took on Ohno. And so...
Oh, no!
And so, I think Matt Riddle has some kind of pent-up aggression that I think he's going to let out and win that match. So...
Again, NXT I don't know much about. I'm just starting to get back into wrestling a little bit, so I will take Cassius Ohno.
All right.
Just because I like the last name.
So the next match that we have is for the NXT North American Championship, and it is Ricochet, who is the champion, versus Johnny Gargano. This match has been, this feud has been very interesting to watch over the last few weeks. I personally think that I would like to see Johnny Gargano get the championship, but I think Ricochet is going to retain the championship. I don't think Johnny Gargano is going to get the championship this time. Maybe it'll lead into something else, but that's the way I kind of see it at this point. Is I don't think they're going to have I don't think Gargano's going to get the title this time.
I don't think so either. I think I'll go with Ricochet.
Just watching the last few weeks at their storyline, I think maybe they'll build it up a little bit more before Gargano actually gets the championship. Or maybe it'll turn around and he'll go for the straight-up NXT championship.
Well, just based on what I saw on NXT the other day, I think they may push Gargano towards maybe tagging up with, what's his name?
Who?
Tommaso.
Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
So, to take on Aleister Black and Ricochet.
Yeah, because here's what I think is going to happen. I think you're going to see one of the tag teams move up to the main roster, whether they go to SmackDown or whether they go to Raw. I don't know which one they'll go to, but I think that you'll see them move up.
Yeah.
And so I think they're going to kind of fill it in with, trying to find another tag team to fill in. And I think Johnny Gargano is going to be one that's going to team up with Tommaso Ciampa. So that's just what I think is going to happen.
I think Johnny Gargano has a lot of potential to be like a super great wrestler. Like when he gets up to the WWE, I think he's going to be one of the tough guys to beat for like a lot of those big championships, or he's going to be in line for a lot of those big championships. Based upon what I've seen in NXT, his character has evolved a lot, and I feel like he is a better wrestler than he was in the beginning. So I definitely think that he has a good chance to be a really good guy up in the main roster. So the next match that we have is the NXT Tag Team Championships match. And this is the Undisputed Era, who are the champions, versus the War Raiders. I'm going to be completely honest. I have never watched the War Raiders fight. I've never seen them wrestle. So I'm going to go with the Undisputed Era on this one. Oh my god. Yeah, I said Ricochet for the other one. I did say who I thought was going to win.
Yes, you did.
I thought I didn't.
And I agreed with you.
Undisputed Era. I think Undisputed Era is going to keep the championships. Like I said, I've never seen the War Raiders wrestle before, so I will have to check them out. But I think the Undisputed Era is going to retain championships. Whether it be one of the other members kind of gets involved and messes with the other team, or if they retain them on their own, I think they'll retain them.
It's one of these two. I think will be the ones that go up, because I think from the other day, I think Adam Cole is going to go up to the main roster, and I don't know if the whole Undisputed Era is going to go up.
Well, it's 4 people, and we have Bobby Fish and Adam Cole, who we saw the other day, and then the tag team, the other 2 people in
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is I don't know if they're going to try and push all 4 of them up and kind of do a storyline with them on the main roster, or if they're going to leave them down where they're at in NXT.
I think if anybody, Adam Cole would be the one to move up.
Well, but he's not part of the champions, so I was, that would eliminate my tag team from moving up. So
yeah,
I think that I don't think the War Raiders, just based on the little bit I've watched, are ready to move up. So I think that you could see the Undisputed Era, just to keep a storyline going, move up and go on to the main roster, because I do think Adam Cole is going up for sure. Mm-hmm. And then, we'll see what happens with the Undisputed Era. My prediction, I'm going to predict that you have new NXT Tag Team Champions and the War Raiders win.
Neat. Again, like I said, I have never watched the War Raiders wrestle, so I don't know what the deal is with them. But the Undisputed Era was my pick. I think they're going to retain the championships, but we'll see. Next, we have the NXT Women's Championship match, and this is the one I'm really excited for. We have Shayna Baszler, who is the champion, versus Bianca Belair, who is undefeated in NXT. So, personally, I really like this rivalry. I really like the storyline that they put together for this one. Shayna Baszler is a submission magician, is what they call her. And she is for sure just that. She does a really good job with, submissions and getting people to tap out. I think her matches are really enjoyable to watch. I had a good time watching her in the Mae Young Classics. Bianca Belair is another really great wrestler. I like her stuff as well, but personally I think Shayna Baszler is going to retain and beat Bianca Belair's undefeated streak. That's kind of where I'm at this point with this match. I don't think Bianca Belair is going to be undefeated come tomorrow. So
again, I think Shayna Baszler is going to move up.
Mm-hmm. She hasn't been in NXT for very long, but she's a really good wrestler, just like Ronda Rousey is. She comes from the UFC and MMA type stuff, and she does a great job like mixing the two together, and she's good with storylines, and she can like kind of move on the fly. And so I definitely think she's another one to watch out for coming up.
Well, and here's my thought, and I'm not going to say right now, but there's rumors about Ronda Rousey that I'll talk about later when we get to
her match.
Talking about the Royal Rumble. So I'm thinking that Shayna Baszler, I don't know if they'll do it now.
Or wait.
Or if they'll wait until after WrestleMania to move her up. Or maybe they'll move her up right before WrestleMania.
And kind of incorporate her in some storylines.
I think that if they decided to move her up now, I think Bianca Belair will win. If they're going to wait and hold off, then I think that Shayna Baszler is going to win.
Yeah. I'm for sure all Shayna Baszler all the way. I really like her work. Phenomenal wrestler. Storylines are great, and I think she's going to retain the championship. So, the last match on the NXT TakeOver Phoenix card is the NXT Championship, and this is Tommaso Ciampa, who is the champ, versus Aleister Black. Again, another really great storyline down in NXT. I find NXT has some better storylines than WWE has at the moment. It might just be because they're trying to test things out with the new wrestlers and see what they can do up in the big leagues. But I do really like the storylines down in NXT. Again, a lot of them are really great wrestlers. And personally, I really like Aleister Black's character. So I don't know what to say about this one, because I feel like Ciampa might retain the championship. But I also have that kind of feeling that Aleister Black may find a way to get the championship. So on this one, at the moment, I'm kind of undecided as of who I would pick. I'm kind of leaning more towards Aleister Black because I feel like he would make a really great champion, and there are so many more things that they could do with Tommaso Ciampa. So maybe I will go with Aleister Black. That's my pick. We'll say Aleister Black. See, it's a tough one.
Well, I was sitting here thinking, with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa staring each other down at the end of NXT the other night, maybe what they're looking to do is Johnny Gargano beats Ricochet, and then you have the North American champion looking to fight the NXT champion to unify the titles. I don't know. So I mean,
it's a tough
another
one.
storyline there that you could throw in there. So I could see, I would say, but then again, also, if they're going to do the tag team angle that I said, then I would see Tommaso losing
and Aleister
Black winning.
So there are so many different ways it could go, and it's a tough one because they both could do such. There could be such different storylines that you just are like, I don't know. But I think I'm gonna go with Aleister Black.
I'm gonna go with. Aleister Black too.
So
we'll have a new champion.
Yeah, I think
that there's a possibility we could have 2 new champions at the end of the night. Possibility 3, depending on what they do with Shayna Baszler.
So that is all the matches for NXT TakeOver Phoenix. Super excited to watch that tomorrow and see how everything ends up working out. Super great matches, super exciting stuff. They've got big things on the horizon, I think.
Well, I think that they try and create storylines to try and get people over to move up to the next, to move up to this big show. But
yeah.
And you know, some of the storylines right now in both SmackDown and Raw, they just need to, I don't know, they need to do something with the storylines right now, and maybe they'll do that after
the Royal Rumble. They might start
they'll start doing
some new things because we're leading up to WrestleMania. I think that's what it is right now. It's like we just turned to a new year. It's the Royal Rumble. We're trying to create some buzz around this, but you know, WrestleMania is the big thing that everybody's looking forward to, and that's only in just a couple months. So hold off on like the big stuff until after the Royal Rumble, and then start new storylines. And like I've talked about over the past couple streams that we've done, they're bringing in the women's tag team championships, which is also something to look at with the girls in NXT moving up. You know, there's so many new, like, big things that they're coming out within the next couple months. So I think that might be part of it, is they're just kind of holding back on storylines until after the Royal Rumble. So,
well, I think that with the new wrestling organization starting up, and already having signed some big name wrestling, you know, with them signing
and with someone else, you know, it's matches. I'm really excited for this pay-per-view too. This is one, like I said, it's one of my favorite pay-per-views. I really enjoy this one and WrestleMania and Survivor Series and I guess really the 4 big ones, Royal Rumble. So we're going to start off with the kickoff matches. There are 2 of them, and these are on the kickoff show or the pre-show. I believe you can find it on YouTube. I believe you can watch it on YouTube and on the network, of course.
WWE Network, you can definitely watch it.
So the first match is for the United States Championship. It is Rusev, who is the champion, versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This match, the storyline leading up to it hasn't been my favorite in the world. It has its moments of being kind of funny, but other than that, it wasn't my favorite storyline. Personally, I think Shinsuke Nakamura is going to win the championship just to do something new and put him kind of back in the spotlight. He's kind of, like, dimmed out, if you will, over the last couple of months. You know, he had big storylines with AJ Styles and some of, like, the bigger name people, and then they kind of put him, not that Rusev is in, like, a lower league, because he's not. He's just as good as some of these other guys like AJ Styles, but he's not one of, like, the big ones that they focus on a lot of the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like I think Shinsuke Nakamura is going to win the championship to kind of put him back in that kind of spotlight. So, what do you think about this match?
I don't know. I really don't like the storyline. I don't like any of what's happened from what I've seen. I think Rusev wins and retains the championship, but overall, I don't like the way the storylines went. Now, maybe if they change the storyline a little bit, maybe I would have liked it a little more. Mm-hmm. But I'm not a huge Shinsuke Nakamura fan. So, and I don't know. It's just the way he acts or something. I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan.
I will give you this. He is kind of cocky sometimes. Like, it's actually with this storyline. He's not normally like that, the way he is in this particular storyline, where he's kind of cocky and full of himself a little bit, and he's more so making fun of Rusev in a sense. And his character normally isn't like that. They kind of changed his character for the storyline. And so it's a little different from like what he normally is like in his storylines. But I will give you that. He does have kind of a cockiness to him that normally isn't there. But
well, and again, maybe that's just the way they're trying
to make it with the storyline.
So we'll see what happens. So you said Rusev?
No, I said Shinsuke Nakamura.
All right, and I said Rusev. So
I said to put him kind of back in the spotlight with the big dogs of everybody with the championships, because he hasn't been in the spotlight. I don't know. Has Shinsuke Nakamura ever won a championship? Was he a world champion?
I don't know.
I don't think so. If anybody knows, let me know, because I can't remember at this point.
Leave it in the comments below.
Or leave it in the chat.
Or chat us and let us know.
Yeah, because I can't remember at this point. There have been so many Shinsuke Nakamura matches since he came into WWE. But if you know, let me know, because I can't remember if he has had gold around his waist in the past couple of months or not. The next match is the Cruiserweight Championship Fatal 4-Way. We have Buddy Murphy, who is the champion, versus Akira Tozawa, versus Kalisto, versus Hideo Itami. This match, again, I don't watch the Cruiserweight stuff, like the 205 Live. I think that's where the Cruiserweights mostly are.
Yes.
I don't really watch that. It's not, like, I don't know, it doesn't really appeal to me, I guess. I like more of, like, the mainstream stuff.
If you like Rey Mysterio, you'll like the Cruiserweight 205, because that's what they do. They do the live flying stuff. So.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, like, I like Rey Mysterio, but, like, he's not my favorite wrestler in the world. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, for this one, I'm going to say, I think it'd be cool to see Hideo Itami win the Cruiserweight Championship. I think it would be neat. He faded away after a while, there from like the 2000s, and then he came back when they brought the Cruiserweight stuff. Well, actually, he was down in NXT, and then he came up to the Cruiserweight stuff, which I think is cool. So I think it'd be neat to see him win a championship.
I'm going to go with Bobby Murphy.
It's not Bobby, it's Buddy.
Isn't that what R-Truth called him, Bobby?
Oh, maybe it is Bobby Murphy. I don't know.
I think that's what, isn't that what the R-Truth called him the other day when he was talking about fighting Brock Lesnar, and R-Truth goes, I'd rather go fight Bobby Murphy.
Yeah, I think you're right. On SmackDown. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll go with Buddy Murphy. I think he keeps the title in this one.
All right, so that is all of the kickoff matches. Now we get into the actual pay-per-view. So the first match that we have down is the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro versus Miz and Shane O'Mac. Right off the bat, I'm going to say I think Miz and Shane are going to win the titles, but I don't think they're going to hold them for very long. The Bar has been the tag team champions for a really long time. But I think they're going to just do something, spice it up. And then have Miz and Shane win the titles. And then maybe they turn on each other. And that turns into something for WrestleMania. Maybe.
That is possible. I mean, I think or maybe they turn on each other here and they have a storyline for WrestleMania. And
then it turns into something, or they don't win the championships, but they turn on each other.
Here's my thought.
Or whatever.
I think Shane McMahon has to be in like physical matches to really get a push, because that's just the way he is. That's the way he does, and that's the way he gets his push, is by doing like crazy stuff.
Jumping off of 50-foot
so
cage.
I don't see him. I don't see the Miz and Shane if they do win the titles. They will hold them a short time.
That's exactly my thoughts. I said I think they might. I feel like they have a good chance at winning the titles, but the thing is, I don't think they're gonna hold them for longer than like till WrestleMania, if even.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see them. I just, because the way Shane McMahon wrestles, I don't see it lasting if they do win. So just for that, I'm going to actually go with the Miz and Shane McMahon, because I think that with that storyline right now, with the way it's going, I think that having those two win really feeds into that storyline when they turn on each other.
I think the same thing. I think they will win the championships. I think at some point something will happen. They will turn on each other, and then it turns into something for WrestleMania, and they get a match at WrestleMania, because every year since Shane has been back, he's had a match at WrestleMania. And I don't see that changing until he decides that he's going to leave again.
Yeah, which makes me think that if they do win the titles, I don't think they're going to defend them very much.
No.
Between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania.
No.
Just because, like I said, Shane McMahon's body takes a beating every match he's in.
Yeah, Shane wrestles maybe, like, if he's gonna wrestle, he'll wrestle, like, maybe 3 times in a year. Maybe twice.
Well, maybe what they'll do is, because of the way he does wrestle, maybe to kind of do their storyline, the Miz will do all the wrestling, and they'll win matches, which is how they're going to lead into the whole storyline of them turning on each other.
Because Shane is tired of Miz taking the spotlight for winning every single time.
Either that, or the Miz gets tired of, well, you know what, I do all the work and you do nothing.
Yeah.
So I should be the one in the spotlight here. No, you shouldn't even be involved in this. So
Tag Team Championship should just be mine.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who defends them.
So, I mean, they could take that storyline and go with it a couple different ways.
Absolutely. Definitely. I think they for sure are winning the championships at Royal Rumble.
I agree.
That's the way I see it.
I think it's going to happen just to continue the storyline to WrestleMania.
Yeah. That's the way I see it. So next,
SmackDown Women's Championship.
I'm so excited for this match. You have no idea. Asuka.
Dude, I didn't even get to say who it was.
Sorry. Asuka is the champion versus the man, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is taking that championship home. Nothing else needs to be said, because that's what's happening. I already have thoughts on what's happening at WrestleMania. Continue on.
Well, I guess I don't need to, because you already said who's going to win.
No, who do you want to win? Who do you think's going to win?
I think Becky Lynch is going to win just because they're going to set up her and Charlotte Flair. That's just my prediction.
I have other thoughts.
We'll
talk about that during the Royal Rumble. 1 second.
All right.
They're not too far off from your thoughts, but they're pretty far off.
They're not too far off, but they're pretty far off. All right.
So, that match, I'm so excited for. Becky Lynch, I love this storyline. I love everything they've done with Becky Lynch over the last couple months. I feel like out of everything, she is the reason. She's the reason. She has the best storylines. She's given the best storylines. She performs those storylines so well. When her face got broken, she kept on, like, trooping like a champ. And then everything leading up to the Asuka stuff, like, I am 100% the man fan.
The man fan.
The man fan. That's
right.
me, yo. I'm gonna go so far to buy, like, 50 t-shirts of hers. Watch.
Well, good. You'll have to get a job then.
Just wait. You'll see them. So, yeah, Becky Lynch. She's taking home the championship. I'm so excited.
We agree.
Then we have the Raw Women's Championship match. Ronda Rousey, who is the champ, versus Sasha Banks.
Here's what I think.
I will let you take this over because...
there are rumors that Ronda Rousey's going to leave WWE after WrestleMania.
I do have something to say about that.
Not because of any disputes or anything like that. There's a rumor that she wants to start having a family, so
her contract is not up for another year after WrestleMania, like April or something of that matter of the following year of like 2021 or 2020. Yeah, one of the two. I was reading today that she responded.
You read?
Oh, thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
Yes, I read. But I was reading today, she kind of responded to the rumors of her leaving, and she was like, I got to WWE, and, I told them that at some point in time I would want to leave so I can start a family, but I've gotten into this, and I love what I'm doing here. So, who's to say that I'm going to actually just up and leave to go and try and start and have a family? Who knows if that will even, happen? So why not just keep wrestling, and then when it happens, and then I'll leave. So, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see what happens. If she actually leaves or if she doesn't.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see.
Did you not know that statement came out?
No, I did not.
Mm-hmm.
See, you didn't share anything with me.
No, because I was waiting to do it on here.
Throw me on under the bus here and not
making you look stupid.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, I read that just a little bit ago.
Well, now that changes my thought completely for about everything.
Well, sorry.
Just kidding, it doesn't.
Yeah, I read that just right before we got on to stream. So yeah. Anyways, so who do you think's? I think, quite honestly, I'd love to see Sasha Banks win the championship, but I don't think she's going to because I have other thoughts for what is happening at WrestleMania.
I think...
So my pick is Ronda Rousey's retaining.
I'm going to go with Ronda Rousey. And if she decides to stay, I think that... Shayna Baszler is going to come up and get involved in WrestleMania.
I want to see something with the four horsewomen.
So
of UFC.
Yeah.
NXT. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. So.
And that would be including Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
So, Ronda Rousey for both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I see happening because I have thoughts for WrestleMania. Next, we have the WWE Championship match with the new Daniel Bryan, who is the champ, versus AJ Styles. Again, I don't hate the storyline, but it's not my favorite. I have watched Daniel Bryan for such a long time, and this is just not the Daniel Bryan that I'm used to, which is why I think that I'm kind of, like, meh on the storyline, because it's such a different character, and he's kind of turned heel, if you will. So, not my favorite storyline in the world, but personally, I do think that Daniel Bryan is probably going to retain the championship. I don't think AJ Styles is going to win the championship.
I agree, just because I think they're going to try and push the new Daniel Bryan way of thinking, with him talking about, save the planet and everything else. I think that, which is kind of ironic that, the things he's saying is probably best for, like, the planet and people and things like that, but, like, they're treating him as a heel in this, so, which is kind of weird. So, I think that they will continue to push him this way, and I think he will retain the championship just for that reason. And they will, I don't know where they'll go from this.
I don't either. Because it's such a different storyline. That you're almost like, I legit have no idea what they were thinking when they did this, but obviously they're going to take it somewhere, so...
Yeah, so I have no clue. I mean, we'll see what happens.
But my pick is the new Daniel Bryan to take.
Yes.
To retain the championship.
I agree.
Next we have the Universal Championship match with Brock Lesnar and who is the champ, as many of you know, and Finn Balor. Finn Balor is not winning. Brock Lesnar is retaining the championship. Brock Lesnar will return at WrestleMania. He'll beat whoever the heck he's going to beat. And then we won't see Brock Lesnar for 6 months.
You know my thoughts on this. I think that...
Finn Balor's not winning? Yeah.
Well, I don't think he's going to win. But I think they could make the storyline a lot more interesting if they use the Demon Balor. And then if they did that, I think they may have him beat Brock.
If they did that. But it's so dumb not to do that. I don't understand why they're not doing that.
I don't either.
That's what makes me go, what?
Yeah.
What are you even thinking? Like, because this would draw in so many more people because people actually really like the demon Finn Balor. And he was, like, super popular with the crowds and stuff. So, like, why would you not want to do that? You're going to get, like, more people to tune in. You know? Duh.
Yeah. I don't
get it. This match...
I don't like Brock Lesnar just because I don't like the way...
At all. Believe me. Believe me.
Yeah, I know. I hear about you talking about Brock Lesnar. I heard you talking about Brock Lesnar even before we started doing these shows. It was like, I hate Brock Lesnar.
I hate Brock Lesnar.
I really hate Brock Lesnar.
I hate Brock Lesnar with a passion.
For the last couple of years, you talked about hating Brock Lesnar, so yeah.
I hate Brock Lesnar. I hate him. Hate him. Hate his character. Hate everything he has done over the last, 5 years, because it's the same thing that he's been doing for the last 5 years.
And this is why I think WWE really needs to start looking at their storylines on what they're doing with different characters. And I, like I said, part of it is because they really haven't had a push from other organizations. And have that threat. Not that AEW is going to be a threat to them, but I think that AEW has shown that they're going to start to bring in some talent. And so I think that this could be interesting as far as, where they're going to go with different storylines.
There's so many other guys on the roster who have had opportunity after opportunity to become champion, but they choose not to do it because Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
I would personally, you know, when he does his contracts and stuff, and it's like, you know, well, my contract is up here, and I'm going to go back, and he runs his mouth about that, then they bring a contract back up that's a lot more money than what it was before, and then he's like, oh, well, I'm going to stay. What? Duh! Of course he's going to stay, because you're offering him more money, and I'm like, I hate this guy so much. Hate him. But we all know what's going to happen. Brock Lesnar's going to win. Finn Balor's going to lose.
I'm not a huge fan just because of the way WWE's
WrestleMania.
Issue, which is part of why.
SummerSlam. Possibly Survivor Series, maybe, if we're lucky. Royal Rumble.
And every now and then he'll show up at, like...
And maybe he'll show up on Raw if he has a storyline beginning for one of those pay-per-views. But other than that...
You don't see him.
You see him 4 times a year.
Yeah. Yep.
Did this face look happy? No, it doesn't. Okay? I hate him. I hate him.
Now that brings us to the actual men's Royal Rumble.
Well, actually, okay, hold on 1 second.
All right, go ahead.
I kind of have an idea for something they could do at WrestleMania, because we all know Brock Lesnar's going to retain, and whoever wins the Royal Rumble is almost 99.9% sure they're going to go after Brock Lesnar and not Daniel Bryan. So I kind of have an idea, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, I guess.
Are you done with that now?
Yes, so we can talk about the men's Royal Rumble now.
All right, men's Royal Rumble. There are, 9 contestants that haven't been named? 10
we have 20 out of the 30.
So we don't have 10 contestants that haven't been named
that
yet.
have been named. So first off, we have John Cena. It is debatable.
He's not winning it.
Whether,
Nope.
well, no, first off, it is debatable whether or not he's actually going to be in the Royal Rumble or not because of he had an ankle injury.
Here's my thought. He's going to be in the... I think he'll be in the Rumble, but I think he's going to be eliminated quick. Or at least he's not going to win it, so...
No, I don't think so either.
Um...
Next we have Randy Orton. I mean, he's always a good possibility. They always seem to go back to Randy Orton as one of, like, the top guys who does really well in storylines, who does a great job in the ring. So, I mean, he's always a possibility, but he's not my pick.
I don't think that he's going to win it.
I don't think so either.
I think...
He might be down to, like, maybe the final, like, 5 or 4 and then get eliminated, depending on where he comes in the Rumble.
I agree. I think he'll be one of the last ones. No matter where he comes in, I think he'll be one of the last ones.
I believe so, too. Next, we have Dean Ambrose. This is another one I don't think he's winning. I believe he will probably be one of the final people in the Royal Rumble because he has, I think he just will. He's a fighter, and at this point, with his storylines and stuff, I think he will do anything to get into that championship spot due to the fact that he was out with injuries, and then he came back, and then he was out with injuries again. I don't see him winning, though. I see him being one of the final.
I don't think Dean Ambrose will win.
No.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
No.
I would like to see Seth Rollins win.
It's just because you're a Seth Rollins fan.
I don't know if he would necessarily be my pick.
I don't think he ties into the storylines right now, so I can't see him winning.
I think if Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins get in the ring together, there are going to be some shots fired because they've had a heated rivalry over the last couple weeks with Dean Ambrose no longer wanting to be a part of the Shield and saying, oh, the Shield held me down, this, that, and the other thing about the Shield, and Seth Rollins was like, my brothers were disbanded, like, I'm it, and I want that spot at WrestleMania to, win the championship or whatever. I would like to see him win the Rumble, but I don't think he's going to.
No.
Next, we have Samoa Joe. I feel like he's a really good contender to win the Royal Rumble.
I definitely think he has a shot.
Yeah.
and I will reveal my pick after we're done talking here.
Same. Next we have Drew McIntyre. I feel like he also has a really good shot. I feel like they're trying to give him a really big push to get to that championship spot. Over the last couple weeks, he is so tall. He is, like, the biggest dude I've ever seen.
I would say he's a big dude.
He is so big.
Definitely.
I feel like he has a good shot.
I think he has a shot, too. I think he could win it.
Next, we have all three members of the New Day, Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods.
No.
They're not winning the Rumble at all. I would like to see Kofi Kingston's saves, though, at the Rumble. Over the last couple years, he's had super interesting saves where he would be thrown over, and then he'll, like, land on his hands or whatever and, like, do a handstand with, like, walking over to the stairs and stuff. I really enjoy that. I think that's cool, but I don't, they're not winning. No. Then we have Apollo Crews. Another, like, good contender, but no. I don't think he's going to win.
Based on what they did the other night, they're giving him a little bit of a push from
But-
what I've seen, but I don't think...
No.
I don't, and I think that him and Bobby Lashley are going to be feuding for a little while here.
They might even get something in towards WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's gonna win.
No.
Then we have Baron Corbin. I don't know. This is a tough one because I feel like he might have a good shot, but I don't think they're gonna give him a push to get the championship because of everything they've done with, like, you know, Braun Strowman and stuff. I don't see him
No.
winning.
I don't either.
Next we have Elias.
I
Dad's pick.
would love to see him win,
But
just because he's an entertainer.
But I don't think he's going
but I don't think he's going to do it.
to. No. Jinder Mahal is our next one. He's kind of been shoved under the rug. He had big things with Randy Orton a couple months ago. Well, I guess it was last year.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
It was. But I don't see him winning the Rumble either.
No, definitely not.
Jeff Hardy.
Nope.
Bobby Lashley.
We already stated Apollo Crews and him having a possible feud.
Titus O'Neil.
Nope.
Andrade. I don't see him winning either. We have Rey Mysterio.
Nope.
Mustafa Ali is a definite no. And then the last confirmed contestant that we have is R-Truth, and he is in the number 30 spot because he won the mixed match tag team challenge with Carmella, and both of them got number 30 in their respective Royal Rumbles. So, real quick, we have a couple of ideas on who could potentially be the extra contestants in the Rumble, so we're going to talk about those next. So the first one, and I actually picked this one, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has been out for a real long time with injuries, and I think he might make his return at the Royal Rumble, to be completely honest. I feel like he might make his return, he might kick some butt, take some names, and he might go on to face the champion of his choice.
Well, there's rumors that he's in really good shape, so and looks really good. So
I feel like he might be a potential contender if he comes in. And then the next one I said was Sami Zayn, because he's also been out for a long time with injuries, and he might potentially come back. I wouldn't see him necessarily winning the Rumble, but I think it would be cool to have Sami Zayn make a comeback and we see him again. Lars Sullivan. He was scheduled to show up on the two mainstream shows, come up from NXT to the mainstream shows, and he had a really bad anxiety attack right before he was supposed to be on the big shows.
Again, that's a rumor that's out there that he had an anxiety attack.
Yeah. So, we'll see. Maybe he'll show up. I think it'd be cool if he did. That could lead into some big things. Next, another kind of rumored one that I saw kind of on the interweb was Batista. Maybe making a return. Potentially, possibly. I don't know. It could happen. It might not. The last time we saw Batista was on the SmackDown, like, anniversary show or whatever. 10 years or something like that. And it was with Evolution. He showed up, and it was just a one-time event. But maybe he's thinking about making a comeback. Maybe not. I don't know.
Could be. I mean, he's one that could come back, and I think legitimately you could put him in right away into a storyline, and
he would do a great job.
Yeah.
Because he did before he left. Then we have Bray Wyatt, and this is kind of out on a limb because I did some researching and some reading. Bray Wyatt, I have not actually looked at his Twitter, but he deleted all of his former tweets, and he put up and he just has one like pinned tweet that's like, "Today I am a new man. I have something about like evolved into something else or whatever." And there was speculation that he might make a return at the Royal Rumble or something sometime soon as a new character, which is always a possibility.
Well, here's a thought, and I just thought of this. Maybe since he's a new man, and him and Daniel Bryan were kind of in the Wyatt family for a while.
Oh, and both of the Wyatt family members, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, are out with injuries too. So they could also be possibilities to return. Maybe
they bring Bray Wyatt back and put him in with the Save the Planet
type
storyline.
That's also that's actually a really good thought. I never thought about that before you said that. That is actually a really good idea and a good thought.
Well, it could be a way to get them back together, and maybe down the road, at some point in time, it sets up a feud between them because something happens. And
always a possibility. Because the last time we saw Bray Wyatt was when he had stuff with Matt Hardy, and that was months ago. When it was Woken Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy is also not in the Rumble, and I don't know where Matt Hardy went. He just kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
And I have not seen him since. I haven't really read anything on him. So he's another one. Maybe might return. I don't know. Well, again, we'll see. But definitely Bray Wyatt is is one that I'm kind of leaning towards as who might potentially return. I feel like Bray Wyatt and Kevin Owens are both, and Lars Sullivan are all three really good choices. Now again, there are 10 spots, so lots of opportunities, lots of possibilities for like maybe Hall of Famers. Like last year we had Diamond Dallas Page in the Rumble, or 2 years ago.
There's a lot of options there, and you don't know. And whoever out of those 10 are picked, if it's not like Kevin Owens or Lars Sullivan or possibly Batista or possibly Bray Wyatt,
they're not.
I don't think any of those guys are going to win.
No.
Any one of those four, I think, could win if they're looking to do a storyline. But I don't see anybody out of the ones that we know of. I don't see any of these guys winning it.
Then the last one that I wrote down as kind of a last minute thing because I was thinking about it, and we were talking about this the other day. We were talking about the Undisputed Era and how somebody's going to move up, like for sure. And Adam Cole is always a really great possibility to see in the Rumble. Again, I don't think he would win it, but I mean, again, there's always a possibility. But
well, maybe
he might show up in the Rumble.
You know, maybe, since I was talking about the Undisputed Era all moving up, maybe that's 4 spots that you get taken up with
the Undisputed Era.
Undisputed Era.
Yeah, that's always another possibility. So again, it's like endless.
And maybe they just bring them up for a one-time deal and they just do the Royal Rumble and
that's what they did with some
create
guys.
A storyline.
That's what they did with a lot of people last year. And when we get to the women's Rumble, I have some thoughts as to who maybe might come up.
All right, so who do you see? Who do you see winning the Rumble?
I feel like Samoa Joe has a really good shot, and I feel like Samoa Joe might be the only person to actually take Brock Lesnar down because they both have similar. Well, again, you always have the option of champions, but I don't see any of these guys in the Rumble taking on Bryan. I just don't. I think they're gonna go for Lesnar. because he's the bigger guy, and they want, somebody else in the Universal Championship spotlight. So I think Samoa Joe has a really good chance because they both have similar fighting styles. But if he gets that, can't even remember the first word that it's called. It's his sleeper lock thing. If he gets that locked into place, Brock Lesnar is not going anywhere. He's down, and Samoa Joe's winning.
All right, so I'm gonna throw two things out here. The first one I'm gonna say is the one I think that'll win it.
Or Drew McIntyre. Samoa Joe or Drew McIntyre. Those are my two picks.
I'm gonna go with Samoa Joe. And then my out of left field pick is gonna be R-Truth. Based on what he said the other night, talking about wanting to fight Buddy Murphy rather than Brock Lesnar or Bobby Murphy is what he called him.
Bobby Murphy, that's what he called him.
I think with what they're doing, the first time I watched R-Truth, I was like, what is this guy? He's messing everything up.
But he has
But it's a storyline, and he does a good job.
He does it so well, and he makes it
storyline
funny, and he makes you want to keep watching because you're like, this guy's so dumb. What's he gonna do next?
Now, I don't think WWE will do that just because I don't think right now, unless they start to change their storylines and try to create storylines and keep people on their toes on what's going to happen, R-Truth will not win this. It'll be like you said, it'll be someone big, whether it's Samoa Joe or Drew McIntyre or one of those guys, or even like Randy Orton or someone like that. Someone big's going to win it. But I would love to see him throw R-Truth in there and let him win this.
Yeah, those would be my three. Samoa Joe, Drew McIntyre,
create a storyline, and then after the match, he goes, "I want to fight Bobby Murphy."
That would be funny. He's such an entertainer. He does a really good job with the entertainment aspect of it. But yeah, Samoa Joe, Drew McIntyre, and Randy Orton. Those are the three guys that I would make sense in my mind to win the Rumble. Again, like I said, I'd love to see.
Okay, so pick one.
Well, it's hard. I can't just pick one. Samoa Joe or Drew McIntyre?
That's two.
I guess Samoa Joe.
Okay, good pick. That's who I think.
Yeah, I guess Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe. But I would love to see R-Truth.
Samoa Joe or Drew McIntyre? Samoa Joe, though. That's my pick, I guess.
All right. So now we're going to go to the Women's Rumble.
This is I really like this match, too. So, first we have Natalya. I don't see Natalya winning it.
Nope.
Then we have Bayley. I don't see Bayley winning it either.
No.
Ember Moon would be cool to win, but I don't see Ember Moon winning it either.
No.
Lacey Evans, who just came up from NXT. No.
No.
Alexa Bliss has a shot. I feel like she might have a good shot, but she's not my pick.
No.
Ruby Riott.
Nope.
Sarah Logan.
Nope.
Liv Morgan.
Nope.
Mickey James.
Nope.
Alicia Fox.
Nope.
Mandy Rose.
Nope.
And Sonya Deville.
No.
Zelina Vega.
Well, wait. No.
Charlotte Flair.
She would be at the top of my list.
Yeah. And I'll go back to her in just a minute after we get everybody else out of the way, because I have one other person who might win. Naomi? No. Tamina? No. Peyton Royce? Billie Kay? Absolutely not.
Definitely not.
Dana Brooke? No. Lana? No. Nia Jax might have a shot.
No.
But I don't see her winning either.
They're not pushing her hard right now, so I don't see her getting
me either.
No.
Nikki Cross?
No.
No. And then Carmella has the number 30 spot. There has been a lot of talk. Talk.
Yeah.
Talk.
Hello.
Pac-Man.
Can you hear me now?
There has been a lot of talk between Charlotte Flair and Carmella. With Carmella talking smack, she's like, Charlotte, you've never even been in a Royal Rumble before. What makes you think you're going to go and win it? And she's like, because I am the main event. I'm going to WrestleMania, and I'm going to be the main event. So, My pick is Charlotte. I see Charlotte winning this because I have ideas for what is going to happen at WrestleMania, which I will talk about in a second after you tell me who you think is going to win.
My pick would be Charlotte Flair. However, if one of the people that has not been mentioned yet.
Yeah, and a lot of these were my ideas that I wrote down for people who might be in it.
And I'm not even going to go with them. Well, yeah, I am. Because I see you have Shayna Baszler down there. If they're going to try to give her a push, then I can see her getting into the Rumble and see her winning it. To take, if Ronda Rousey's going to leave, take Ronda Rousey's place as your UFC fighter or whatever. Or maybe they're going to bring her up and they're going to set up a deal with her and Ronda Rousey.
Could be.
If the creative team, they create their storylines.
So, potential entrants. I kind of put them in a weird order. But first I have Rhea Ripley. She is the former first ever NXT UK champion. There's been some rumors that she might potentially be in the Rumble. Again, I don't see her winning, but it would be neat to see her in there. Then we have Toni Storm, who is the newly crowned NXT UK Women's Champion. Again, would be neat to see her in it. I don't see her winning the Rumble if she was. Io Shirai, who we just saw on NXT on Wednesday. I think she would be neat to see in the Rumble as well. Again, not winning it, not for me at least. Kairi Sane was in the Rumble last year as a surprise entrant, so that's kind of what made me think maybe she'd be in it again, even though she's down in NXT, because last year they did just bring her up for one night and then she went back down to NXT. And again, it was the first Women's Royal Rumble last year, so that also could have been why they brought her up. But again, I wouldn't see her winning it if she wasn't it. The Bellas, both Bella Twins, Nikki Bella and Brie Bella, also could potentially show up in the Rumble. They haven't been announced. They haven't been on TV in a while. So, kind of a hit or miss thing. They might be in it. They might not. Then we get into Shayna Baszler. And she is one that I said might show up in the Rumble. Because they've done that in the past where they've had people from NXT come up and do it. So she's also a possibility. And then I put down Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir. And both of them, for anybody who doesn't know who they are, they were in...
That'd be me.
They were fighting buddies with Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey in UFC. And they both are now in NXT for the wrestling stuff. So I feel like they could also be surprise entrants in the Rumble. Again, I don't 100% know if they would necessarily do that. Would be neat to see. Again, don't know if they do it. Charlotte Flair, and my thoughts on what might potentially happen if she wins the Rumble. Well, I think she's gonna win the Rumble.
So you think Flair?
That's who I'm going with. I'm going with Charlotte Flair.
I'm gonna go with Charlotte Flair. But I think an interesting thing would be, again, have Carmella win it. R-Truth wins the Men's Royal Rumble. And it just makes the storyline interesting.
But I think Charlotte Flair's winning the Rumble.
Well, I think so too. I just think if they wanted to create storylines, because I think it's too obvious that Charlotte Flair would win this, but if they wanted to create some storylines and do some things off of that, you could also have Shayna Baszler win it.
You could if you brought her into it, yeah.
Just because it creates a storyline with, they could do UFC versus UFC with her and Ronda Rousey.
And then, like what I said with Marina Shafir and Jessamyn Duke and Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, I want to see the horsewomen of UFC take on the 4 horsewomen of WWE, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Becky Lynch. I want to see that happen at some point in time. I don't see that happening at WrestleMania, but I think it would be super neat to see it happen while all of them are in the WWE like they are.
Yeah.
I feel like that has been a hyped up match that people would like to see, and I think it will happen. It's just a matter of when. Anyways, Charlotte Flair. What I think's happening at WrestleMania. Charlotte Flair wins the Rumble. Ronda Rousey retains the title. Becky Lynch wins the title. Charlotte says, I don't want to just fight one of you. I want both of you. They all have a match at the Rumble. And I don't know who'd win that.
You mean at WrestleMania?
WrestleMania. My bad. Duh. Yeah, they all three of them have a match at WrestleMania. I don't know. I don't know who'd win.
I don't know either.
I don't either. I would say if they did that, I feel like Charlotte Flair might win and take the title off of both of them. And then go from there. But I don't know.
It'd be interesting.
It's a thought.
Yeah. It's a good thought.
But if not that, I think Charlotte's going after Ronda Rousey. Because after watching what happened at Survivor Series, that was intense, man. Like, Charlotte Flair went ham on Ronda Rousey. So I don't know. I mean, I think she would pick Rousey, but I mean, again, you just have to see what happens with the championship, whether Becky is still the champion leading into WrestleMania, which I think she's going to be. And if Rousey is the champion, which I don't see her not being the champion, because I don't see her losing the championship in the next, 3 months.
No.
So, Charlotte Flair's my pick.
All right. So we agree there.
So.
All right. So, tomorrow we will. I don't know if we'll do live during NXT or if we'll wait till after NXT and then do a show.
I think it'd be neat to do it live and then kind of get our reactions while we're in the moment.
We'll see what happens.
Just kind of depends.
So we may be live, we may not during NXT. We'll either do it during NXT or do it right after the NXT's over. And we'll talk about kind of who we predicted and
matches,
how it turned
who
out.
Actually won.
We can see how we don't know anything about wrestling and the WWE and what they're thinking. If you like what you see here, give us thumbs up. If you don't like what you see, give us thumbs down. Let us know what... If you give us thumbs down, let us know what we're doing wrong so we can try to fix it. We're trying to make everything better every time we do this. If you like what you see, leave us a message and let us know why you like it. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of our streams.
Especially for this weekend. Big stuff. Good stuff. Tomorrow. Sunday.
Sunday.
I'm excited to see what happens.
All right.
So
we'll see you tomorrow at some point in time. Peace out.
Bye, guys.